The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of Feng Shui. I have a very special guest, Jill Ethier, and she is a Feng Shui expert, certified trainer who supports people in increasing their mental, physical, spiritual energy. She's also a host of the podcast Ninja Jill Knows. And hey, I want to welcome you on the show. I'm excited for you to be here and talk about this. And I can't think of a better time to talk about it than now.
Oh, I totally agree. I'm so glad to be here. And now more than ever, the energy in our home is really going to matter as people are experiencing having to be there more and really take a look at their life and go, what's most important now?
Yeah, so let's talk about this thing of Feng Shui, because we talked a little bit before we started this, and you said you've been doing it for 14 years. But I got to be honest with you, like 14 years ago, this wasn't even really a word that we heard of, and now today we're starting to hear this more and more. But you're obviously kind of you were new into the game and way ahead of everybody else. But what exactly is Feng Shui?
So Feng Shui is an ancient art and science. It's, over 5,000 years old. It's Chinese in nature, but really it's about creating a flow of energy in your home. And so Feng Shui is based on something called the Bagua map. And the Bagua map actually breaks your home, your footprint, your floor plan down into the 9 areas of your life. And then it's all about creating a flow of energy in those areas using colors and elements. So we focus on abundance, we focus on self-discovery, we focus on relationships, creativity, assistance, purpose, wisdom, community, and health and well-being. And when we get the energy flowing in our home, it impacts our personal energy, which then impacts our life. Because the more that we can increase our personal energy, the more we can take action on the things we want most. But what I loved most about Feng Shui when I learned it was the fact that it's 30% of what you place in your home. So we're going to talk about like the abundance area, and you add the colors purple and red and wood and water, but you do that with an intention. And 70% of the change that happens in your home and in your life is based on the intention you're setting. So it's this beautiful combination of mental and physical energy that I really like, because it's an intentional action that you can go do to start to create a shift in your life. And when you create a shift in the energy of your home, intentionally, you create a shift in your personal energy. So it's really about creating this flow and balance in your home, creating a space that nourishes and supports you, creating a calm environment, especially now with everybody at home, right? You're going to want to do that. And so it's a matter of getting this energy flowing properly so that you can go out and live the life that you want to live, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. And I, when you say that, I think about, okay, like where are we all being called back to today? We're all being called back to home. And really, what we've watched over the last, 20 years is the evolution of electronics, the evolution of all these of distractions. And, I truly believe what's happened is we've all moved away from, this synergistic feel of our families and like how we, cohabitat and operate and co-create as a family. And this is one of the things that I'm seeing as like, hey, we have to learn how to live and operate as a family again. And not only that, but just balance the energy of the home, because, when you have kids and things like that, husband, all these things are like, it's like sometimes it feels like you're walking into a tornado. And then other times like, hey, all I want to do is just be home and relax with my family. But like, I think we all feel the energy, but it's like, how do we actually explain it? And, what I'm excited today to hear about is like, how you explain the energy is fascinating to me. So can you give me kind of an idea of like why you actually got into this?
Well, it's kind of funny. I got into it. I just was recently married. I moved to a new city. I was so sick in this pregnancy. I could barely get off the couch. And a girlfriend came over and she mentioned she was taking a Feng Shui class. And I'm like, oh my God, I need something to do. I was a major type A personality and I wasn't working at that point because we just moved and I was pregnant with my second child. And I'm like, okay, I'll take the class. And then I got hooked. I got hooked on learning about it. So I took the first class, which was basic Feng Shui. Then I took the next one. Then I took the next one. Then I took the next one. And then the final one was to become a consultant. I was also at a time where like the internet wasn't as big of a deal. So I read every book on the subject. And the thing about Feng Shui is it's actually very easy, except everybody has a bit of a different opinion. And that's where it gets confusing. And that's why people stop doing it. And so I read all the books, and then as I was finishing up learning, like training to be a consultant, I was at the end of my pregnancy. And what was interesting through the journey of Feng Shui was my husband works away. Okay. So he works on an oil rig, and he would come home and he would walk in and he's like, something's changed. And I'm like, no, like the furniture was all where it was before. He's like, I can feel it. I know you've done something. What have you done? And so he could feel the shift in the energy, right? And then I started seeing things happening in our life. And so then I decided, well, I might as well train on this to teach people on it. And then my world imploded. And at the end of my course, I ended up going into labor, and actually my baby died. And that day I quit my corporate job and I decided that I needed to live fully. But the first thing I started doing was working on the energy of my house when I got home. I went back to what I learned and said, okay, my life is now upside down, but I know I need a new focus because I'll never be the same. I'm not the same person now because of that tragedy. So I need to decide, what do I want now in the area of abundance? What do I want now for my relationship? What do I want now for my purpose? And I actually used Feng Shui and what I learned to walk myself through that process. So it became very important to me to understand that it's like Feng Shuiing your life when you use it, right? And so I just got into it, loved it. And then I got asked to come back and teach at the university that I learned it at. And then I was hooked, right? I never went back to my corporate career. And I started teaching people about energy because I knew that if we change the energy in our home, we change the energy in our life. Because what I tell my clients is the state of your home reflects the state of your life. So right now, if your home is chaos and cluttered and full of things, that's how your life is going to be. Like I can walk into a client's home, Jesse, and just look around, like say, show me your home. And I can tell them which areas of their life they're struggling in based on the state of their home.
Wow.
And they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, because I know based on Feng Shui, the energy of your relationship is in that back right corner of your home and in your master bedroom. And if your master bedroom looks like an explosion has gone off, I know that your communication as a couple isn't going to be good, right? Like I can tell that, right? Based on the state of your home, because the state of your home reflects the state of your life. And so as I started doing more and more of this, I just recognized that this was important work to do. So as much as I was a marketing strategist before, and that was fun and I was good at it, this is stuff that changes people's lives. And this was the way that I wanted to do it. So it was kind of this interesting evolution of I'm just going to take this as a hobby and something to do while I'm pregnant. And then my world changed and I recognized how much of an important tool it was to me and how I needed to share it with others.
Wow, that's amazing. And one of the things you said is about, having your baby die, which I want to just say thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that. And acknowledge you for that, because I mean that's a huge part of your story, and you kind of went past it. I know you've done a lot of work on it, but I also want to acknowledge you for sharing that. and as like we keep going, things that come up for me when you're talking is like, I'm a guy, my wife is kind of the CEO mom, Katie, which, you're friends with, but why is it like, I believe like guys get anxiety. Some guys get anxiety when they come home and it's like, my house isn't clean. Like, is this all part of kind of this feng shui thing of like, maybe like we feel like we're in control at work, but when we come home, it kind of feels like the energy's out of control. Like, can you kind of explain what's happening with that?
Well, yeah, and it does, right? Because when you walk in your home, what's happening in your home matters because it's all energy. Okay. So even though it's like the table or the chair or the piece of decor, it all vibrates with a certain energy level, and we vibrate with a certain energy level. So that energy in your space collectively impacts your personal energy. So that's why it starts creating anxiety, or things feel off, or you notice yourself change when you walk in a room. It's the same as like, when you've walked in a room and that two people have had a fight and you're like, oh, it's tense in here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's literally feeling the energy. Everybody's had that experience. So when you walk in your home and the energy feels off, then it's off. And you don't even know. You guys, like, you might be off because things are tense with your spouse, but they're also tense because there's so much clutter in your home that the energy can't flow. Right. And so in the end, I like, a lot of my clients are women just because that's who I appeal to, but it's the same for men is the two of you together, the energy keepers in the house. So
Right.
even though I'm like the CEO of my house and I take on the main jobs of clutter clearing and stuff, my husband, Carlin, is expected when he gets home from the rig to take care of his stuff. Like he used to, my dad would say, it's like he's a puddle and he like drips stuff behind him everywhere he goes because he would leave stuff everywhere. And then when I started feng shuiing, I just said to him, I'm like, the state of the home reflects the state of our life. It impacts my energy. It impacts your energy. It impacts our abundance. It impacts our relationship. It impacts our purpose. I need you to just take care of your things. Right. And then he knows everything goes back to the place it was. But I have clients where the men are more about the clutter clearing and taking care of the energy. It doesn't matter. It's both of your job. It's your home.
Sure.
Right. But if it is impacting your energy, go and do something about it. So it's like the moment you start clearing some clutter out, it shifts. So my husband initially, when I started doing this, was happy I was doing it. He didn't care. Right. He's like, good, go do your thing. You're busy. And I'm down in the basement clearing clutter. And he comes down and I'm like, good, you're here. Those are your 6 bins. Knock yourself out. Go through them. If you don't love it and you don't use it, I want you to get rid of it. And he didn't do a very good job initially. He didn't like the idea of letting things go because it all really meant something to him. It was like if he didn't have the physical object, he didn't have the memory. And he's like, oh, but the girls are going to want to see all my hockey trophies. And I'm like, Carlin, they're girls. Nobody cares. But he didn't want to let them go. But I just continued on decluttering. And eventually I found him once in the basement. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm decluttering my stuff because I need to go back to work. And I don't know how all this works, but I know that if I go through this stuff and change the energy, somebody's going to phone me to go back to the rig. And I'm like, okay, clear intention starts moving the energy in the space. And all of a sudden he's getting a phone call to go back to the rig. 6 months later, I find him in the basement again. I'm like, what are you doing, Carlin? He's like, last time it worked. I'm going to clear more of this stuff out. Right. But he began to understand that if we move the energy, we change our experience. So if you have guys that are going home and having anxiety, it's not up to their wife then to take care of the energy of the home. Come in and start cleaning some stuff up because it might look like it exploded all day and your wife's been home and she should have it cleaned up. But you have to recognize if there's kids, there's no time. Like I have 3 kids. My house gets cleaned up at the end of every day, but that's something you guys could do together. Right? Like I would let my kids play, the house would fall apart. And before we went to bed, I would pick the house up and put it back to everywhere it needed to go. Because when you walk out of your bedroom in the morning and the energy is calm, it creates such a platform for your day. Okay. So yeah, if you feel the energy's off, clean something up.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think about even sometimes at my my office is like, I'll feel like stuff's out of place and I'll just start vacuuming and mopping really quick and cleaning things up. And then it's like, okay, now I can focus on work. But it's like before that, I can't do that at all. And then there's times where, when I come home, it's like, okay, there's laundry, there's stuff and it's out of place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't relax. And then I got to move everything. But I like what you said about, hey, if we just took care of our own stuff, or, especially for guys, I think a lot of times guys have this misconception of, hey, just because your wife may be at home doesn't mean that she's your servant and needs to be doing your laundry and picking up your stuff. And sometimes I have guys where they're like, yeah, my wife won't pick up my stuff. And I was like, dude, did you marry your mom or did you marry your wife? Because they're not the same thing. And so I like the fact that you are like, hey, take ownership of your own stuff, pick your own shit up, and if you feel like something's out of place, like go do something about it instead of expecting someone else to. Because I think a lot of times guys expect that. So
yeah, well, and I agree, and I will tell you, it was no different at my house until I said, I am not your mother.
Yeah.
And your mother probably made you pick your stuff up, except I'm not going to be the one to tell you. If this is something we want to teach our kids, we're both leading in this. So we both have to do it. And if we want our kids to pick something up, then we go and help them, especially when they're younger. Like now mine are 10, 12, and 20. So it's just a directive of go pick up your crap and put it away. Right? But when they were younger, you go and you help them. It's no different when you walk in, you take care of your own things. It's our home. It's not your wife's home because she's the one there most of the day. It's both of your home. And if the home wasn't picked up, it means she was focused on the most important things, which was either her kids or when her kids were at school, maybe she focused on her work. And everybody can pitch in at the house. Putting the laundry away, getting the toys put away, doing the dishes, right? Like just because you were gone all day working doesn't mean there's not work at home, right? So yeah, I think it's changing that perspective of what that actually is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think you said there's 9 areas of your home. Was that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you maybe go through each one and give a brief description? I mean, obviously, yeah, we can figure some out, but just kind of what it means in Feng Shui.
Okay. So typically when people want to talk about this, they want to talk about the abundance area and the relationship area, because those tend to be, if I have clients come to me and they want me to Feng Shui their home, those are 2 of the things that are typically areas in their life that they're having issues with. So in Feng Shui, I practice a type of Feng Shui called BTB Feng Shui, and it's a more modern version of Feng Shui. So we lay the Bagua map, this thing that shows you 9 areas of your home, based on where the front door is. So if you visualize right now that you're standing in the front door of your home, looking in, okay? And we're going to assume that your home is square or rectangle. If it's L-shaped, you're going to have a little missing piece. That's too much to get into right now, but message me, I'll help you, okay? But you're looking into your home, and you're going to think about your home being divided into 9 squares. You're creating a grid in your home of 9 squares, okay? And those squares go up so if you have an upper level and a lower level, it's like that square goes up and down. The grid lines run all the way up and down through your home, okay? That back left corner of your home is your abundance area, okay? So that is where really all the money lies, the money energy lies, all of the material wealth, all of those sorts of things, the things you want to acquire. That is the energy that vibrates in that back left corner of your home. Okay. And it's upstairs. So it might be some kids' messy bedroom. So think about the state of abundance if their bedroom's a disaster. And people say, well, I can't get my kids to clean their room. I'm like, yes, you can. You're the keeper of the energy in your home. You have an expectation and agreement of what the bedroom looks like every day. That's what I do. My kids' rooms aren't a mess, right? Or someone will say, oh, it's my husband's stuff or it's my wife's stuff. I can't do it. And I'm like, do what you can. And once you start shifting the energy with people with your own stuff, they'll shift their stuff around too, because you're raising the vibration. And the moment you raise the vibration, everybody gets a bit uncomfortable. So things start changing. But that back left corner of your home is this abundance area. So in Feng Shui, you would add a water fountain in that area. Water fountain represents flowing money. Okay.
Okay.
So you want to add a water fountain in that area. You want to add the element of wood. So how do you do that? Well, you might add a decor item that's wood, or you might add a plant to that area. Like, this is very simple. Like, in your home, when you start feng shuiing, you can actually just use stuff you already have. Okay. Because you're just moving things around. Something that also happens that's interesting is I always ask my clients, what's your favorite room of your house? Right. And they'll show me, and it tends to be the room where they have the feng shui right. Like, they have the right colors and the right elements because the energy feels right. Okay. Because we pick up on that. But in that back left corner, you might already find that you've put a plant because it feels good. It seems right. Okay. So you have a plant. So you have the energy of wood. You have the energy of water. And then you're going to add the colors purple, green, and red. So then people get worried because they're like, I don't want a purple wall or a green wall. Like, it becomes like, oh, this isn't going to work for me. No, it doesn't have to be visible for the energy to vibrate in that area. Okay. Right. So you're going to think about a poster board size of color. I hide them behind my artwork. So I have the color purple, green, and red behind a mirror in that area, and nobody knows they're there. Okay. Sometimes I've painted the wall red because it goes with the decor. So we've lived in so many houses, but not in this house. So you don't see the color. But you're going to add these things in with what? With the intention of what you want to attract into your life with regards to the energy of abundance. What, amount of money do you want in your bank account? What do you want to acquire, right? Sometimes abundance is about you want some more relationships in your life and friendships, right? So you're going to set your intentions, and then you're going to start moving these things into the space. That's how Feng Shui works, okay? And then we move along and we look at self-discovery. That's the next area. And it's about your reputation and your personal growth. And then there's certain things we add there. I'm not going to give you all the things because we'll be writing forever. This will take up the rest of our time. So, okay. And then the next place that you look at, which I'll talk about, which is important because this is really, I know, important to your guys, is the relationship area. So the relationship area, when you're standing in the front door, is the back right corner of your house. Okay. And in that area, you want to add things in pairs because it's a relationship. So that area is all about your romantic love, and it's also about your self-love, because we know that if we can love ourselves and if we can be whole, what do we have? We have a better relationship, right?
Okay.
So you're going to add things in pairs. The element there is earth. So you want to add some earth decor items, and you want to add the color pink. Okay. So those are kind of the things you do right away. But what's interesting about Feng Shui is if your master bedroom isn't in that back right corner, your master bedroom also represents your relationship because it's for two things. What do you think those two things are? They both start with S.
Yeah. Yeah. Sex and
sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so, pardon?
Sex and sex.
Yeah. Okay. This is where I always get the guys. Is if I'm worried they're not on board, I'm like, dude, if you want to have more sex, make your master bedroom look like a hotel room or a bed and breakfast, like a place that you were invited into. So stop with all the clothing all over the floor, the pieces of gym equipment that aren't being used, the stacks of books and file folders, and like, I've seen so many things in bedrooms that don't belong in bedrooms in my career, okay? But you want to get rid of all that. So you want to create an environment that feels good, and I will tell you that you will have more sex, guaranteed. Okay?
Guys, make sure you replay that part one more time. You're listening to this.
So let me give you a few more tips in your master bedroom, since I'm sure we'll be like, tell me more. Okay, so you want to declutter, okay? So you want to create a space that feels really good when you go in. This is your retreat at the end of the night with your partner, but also for yourself. Okay. So this is about your relationship in Feng Shui. You want to add the color pink. My husband's like, there's no way we're having any pink out, Jill. I'm like, that's okay, Carlin. So I added pink between my mattress and box spring. Okay. So get pink poster board. That's the color of love, right? Like, you guys, you're creating an energetic state, which then what? Changes your personal energy. So you create a master bedroom that feels really good. So you get rid of all this stuff. You want to make sure your bed is on the strongest wall in your room. So you want a clear view of the door, and you don't want any windows on that wall that you put your headboard on. Okay. This all secures our position. It changes the feel of the room. And then you want to make sure that there's nice lighting and there's pairs in there. Okay. So you want 2 of everything because you're promoting a relationship. Okay. So you start changing the energy. You start changing how you communicate in that room. And then when you change how you communicate, typically your wife's a little happier and then you're going to have more sex.
Sure.
Right. Like, oh, this is how, take it from me. I know how these things work. I'm on the other side of this going, these are the things that work. So, maybe you are the one who takes care of how the bedroom looks. Like in our house, whoever gets out of bed last in the morning makes the bed because we want the state of the room to be good. That matters. That changes the energy in the room. So it's not my job. It's just whoever gets out of bed last. So sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Carlin, depending on who got up with the kids or whatever, right? But he and I, the state of our bedroom is both our jobs. Okay. So clear off the cupboards and stuff. Okay. So this is how Feng Shui is not only like that back right corner, but your master bedroom is a big love area. Like light some candles, make the room feel good, use really nice essential oils. Like all of that matters, right? It changes the state of the energy. Okay. Then we also have areas in our home that's focused on creativity, right? Because we need to all have more fun, be more creative. So when you talk about being called home, typically we're all very focused on, our career and our abundance and our financial wealth. But being called back home now means let's be a little more creative. Let's have a little more fun. Let's be a little more childlike because those are the things that tend to get lost, right?
Right.
When we're busy. And now we're not as busy because there's not as many things going on. So you create that in your home. There's an area of your home called the assistance area. And that is like physical and spiritual support, right? So depending on what your beliefs are, that's where, you'd look at your religion, you'd look at angels, guides, whatever you believe. And then also physical assistance. Like if you need somebody to show up in your life to teach you something or to support you through something, you work in that area of your home. Okay. The purpose area is all about your career. So you focus there and, you're adding water and the color black in that area. And that's the front middle area of your home. And then we have a wisdom area, which impacts every area of your life because the more you know, the more you do, right? So it impacts your abundance. It impacts your self-discovery. It impacts your relationship. So you focus on that wisdom area. There's a community area, which is just if the abundance area is the back left corner, the community area is just on the left in the middle. And that's all your daily household bills and your relationship with your kids and your extended family and your friends and your coworkers. So if I have people who are struggling with their extended family or with their coworkers or employees, we go work in that area, right? We meaning I tell them what to do and they do it. Not me actually at your house.
Sure.
They're always like, can you come over and live here for 2 weeks? I'm like, no. No, you deal with your own energy. And then in the very center, Jesse, is the health and well-being area. And basically, this is interesting, is it touches every other area, okay? So this is mental, physical, and spiritual health. It touches every other area of our life. And it is balanced when all the other areas are balanced. Okay? That's where this whole idea of the state of your home matters because it matters for all these 9 areas of your life. And so in the areas, we add different things. We work in different areas, and then we know the master bedroom and all bedrooms are really important. So it's an interesting way to look at your life in a different way. Because typically we talk about abundance, relationships, and work.
Right.
But now we talk about how does wisdom play in? How does assistance and support play in? How does this actually impact our overall well-being? Because that matters most to what? Our overall well-being matters to it all.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you do this in homes and businesses or just homes?
Oh, businesses. And I'll be honest, businesses are my favorite part because, of course, before I quit my job, I was like a corporate marketing strategist. And so I love using energy and business together because it's an interesting synergy. And when you can change the energy in a business, you change how the employee experiences it, but you also change how the client experiences it. So we can feng shui your business space. Like we could do this for your office. You lay the footprint, the Bagwell map the same way. And in an office, we maybe choose a bit different things for decor. And then we focus the 9 areas. Like when you look at self-discovery for in your home, it's actually more about reputation and marketing in a business. Okay. The relationship area isn't about romantic love and self-love. It's about what? Your relationship with your clients and with your employees.
Okay.
But the concepts of feng shui are the same. The colors we add, the elements we add, we just start looking at intentions in a different way because we make it a business focus. And we can do this, I've done commercial spaces, I've done hair salons, I've done, retailers. I've gone in and I did a 3-level corporate. He was a real estate developer in Calgary. So I did his whole office on 3 levels. I've helped people it's interesting when you help people in the building phase because you can incorporate a lot of feng shui when you're building something, right? And so there's stockbrokers in Saskatoon that as they were building, I consulted with them. So we just incorporated feng shui into the overall plan. So it was done before they started. The energy was balanced before we began, right? There's things when you're building a home, we put Bagua maps in certain areas to balance the energy right away. So those things are fun, right? You can do your home office. So I work from home. So my home office is actually feng shuied separately in addition to my whole house being feng shuied. Because I've set intentions for what I want for my business. So when you walk into my office, you're going to see there's a little fountain and a plant in my abundance area, right? There's things in my relationship area. It's all placed in a way that creates an energy based on what I want to attract into my business. And then if things aren't going well, so maybe I don't have as many clients as I want, I'll go to that relationship area and I'll add something in. I'll change the energy there. And then what will I do? Well, I'll take some action. Right? So I'll do the physical change, but then whatever hit of intuition I get, whatever idea pops up, something will come and I'll be like, oh, I got to do that. And all of a sudden clients will start showing up. Right? So it's this combination of you can't feng shui and then go sit on your couch.
Right.
Everything requires action.
Intention
right?
without action is, it's kind of like hopeless.
Yeah, exactly. So yes. This will not solve all of your things, but the energy will help you to move to what you need to do next, right?
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the process somebody would go through? I've obviously had a few clients work with you, but what's the process somebody goes through to work with you to do this, not only, at their home, but in their business?
So what's nice now is it used to be, obviously I had to do it in person, but now I can do it all virtual. So I have clients all over the place because you guys can show me videos of spaces and there's pictures and everything can go back and forth. So there's a couple ways to work with me. I have an online training because I'm always believing in if you're interested in learning it, if you learn it yourself, then you always know it. Right? So I have an online training program. It's 4 parts. And the first part is just called Getting the Feng Shui Flowing. So it'd be perfect for people right now who have been called back home because it's actually a video all about how to clear clutter, which is an ideal thing to be doing right now because clutter creates a lot of chaos in the space and a lot of tension. And with all of us at home, there's a lot of tension already. So if you can clear clutter, that'll really help.
Okay.
And then we focus on the 3 main energy areas of the home, which are the front door, the stove, and the master bedroom. Okay. So course 1 gets you started. It's very inexpensive because I want more people to learn. It's such a good tool to have. And then course 2, you actually learn how to lay the Bagua map, which is the hardest part in feng shui, which it isn't even hard once you know what to do. It's all videos, but I have a private Facebook group. So if you have questions, you put your floor plan there. We go back and forth. You send me pictures. So it's all very interactive. You're not on your own out there doing it, but you're learning it yourself. Or I will do virtual consultations. And that's on my website. So at gillethier.com, you can actually you go under Feng Shui and you can either take the course or I'll do a virtual consultation. And then if you want a business consultation, it's just you email me and we'll talk about the space and the goal and kind of how much it costs and how we move forward. But it's all very fast. And from that, you receive like a 20 to 25 page report of exactly what you need to do. What the area is, there's a checklist, you do this, this, and this. And then as you have issues, we just go back and forth, right? On whatever the space is. Because there's lots to it, Jesse. Like if you have stairs in a certain area of your home, it creates instability. If there's stairs going at your front door, money's going to come into your house and flow out of your house very quickly. Like there's lots to it when you kind of get into the nitty gritty that I can help you with, right? Okay. Either online in the course or in a consult.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you guys are listening to this, make sure to check the show notes, and you'll have links to all of Jill's, her course, and then also her website if you want to do some coaching or do some training. But I remember we were selling our house, and Katie like did some stuff with you where she like washed, I think she washed the front door, moved a couple
Yep.
things around. We weren't really getting any offers. And then I remember all of a sudden, we had an offer by people that had came into the house once, but we switched everything around and they came back. And then they came back with the offer that was like pretty much full price. So like, if you guys are listening to this stuff does affect your energy of your home, and it does like put things into motion, as long as you take action. And part of the action is you got to actually do the stuff followed up by, something else. So
Yes. Well, there's a real estate cure. So I told Katie what to do because it switches up the energy about who you're attracting and how it feels, because how your house feels matters to somebody who's buying it, but also to you. So right now, the fastest way to change how your house feels is to declutter.
Okay.
So that's where if you want to begin right now, go grab a garbage bag and start putting things in the donate bag, right? And that'll create an immediate change. Go clean out that junk drawer underneath the bathroom sink, and you'll start to recognize how that changes the energy, right? So it's the same as changing the energy of a house for sale. So I'll do that lots for clients too, is we have a real estate cure we use, shifts the energy, and that shifts people's experience, right?
Yeah. And if you guys maybe there's a real estate agent watching, you could put Jill on payroll and just have her do each house before you actually put it up for sale as something. I mean, if I was a realtor, I'd just say, hey, I have a Feng Shui expert that's going to go through your house, and they're going to map out everything you need to do before we list your house. And then,
Yep.
that would be.
Yeah. There's really easy things to do to change energy very quickly, right? So it's lots of fun. It's an interesting tool to have and to use in your life, right? Because it gives you back some control of your experience.
Right. So what is one habit someone could do? Like if you were talking about maybe the most important habit somebody could do that was simple, that has to do with Feng Shui, what would it be?
I would say every night before you go to bed, everything goes back into its place. So your kitchen counters are cleaned off and they are all put away. All the toys are put away back into their spot, because when you come out in the morning and your house is put away, it automatically creates a good foundation for the day. If you come out in the morning and your kitchen is exploding and there's toys and crap everywhere, what does that do to your energy immediately? It negatively impacts your energy before you've even begun your day. You've decreased your mental, physical, and spiritual energy automatically. So before you go to bed at night, you put everything back in its place in your home. And if you make this a habit, it changes how you live, right? And it's very simple because you'll start doing more and more of it. So every night before you go to bed, you put everything away. And I swear to you, it creates such a significant difference in how you start your next day.
That's amazing. So, well, thank you so much for being on here. Like, I can't think of a better time for you to do this than today. And, I really look forward to people just being able to listen to this, experience it. And if you're listening to this, like, take action on this now, because you're going to be in your home for the next couple of weeks at least by the time this comes out. So what better time to work on the energy of your home than now?
Yeah, it really, divine timing, right? It definitely is a topic that matters most now. And the state of your home reflects the state of your life. So why not create the state you want to move forward when all of this, continues to unfold for us?
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com, or check out my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing.